So I was watching a video early this morning that a immigrant family came here 2 years ago with the help of a church and some other resources. They were able to get a house. More than likely, it's a mortgage because majority of people can't just buy a house. People were upset in the comments. This was on YouTube, and I'm thinking to myself, Americans, and this goes for all nationalities, but I'm gonna start with the ones that's on welfare because I'm on it. If you're receiving benefits and you're a US citizen or became one, you could have put money aside and got and bought a house cash and don't do mortgage. Because let me tell you something, majority of people that receive assistance, it takes them a good couple of years to establish themselves if they put in the works. That means going to college, learning all they can about how to get themselves out of being poor and off the system. But what we do is we get inside these apartments, we get Section 8, and we're just relaxed. Now, people coming over here, although some of them are not entitled, well, I don't know what happened because now some of the illegals are getting food stamps, but now you all upset because they're able to buy a house. I read that back in the 90s, the Latinos are coming here in droves. And I don't know how they were able to do it, but they didn't have to pay taxes because they find ways. And it's who you know. Within 3 years, they were able to be homeowners. So I say that to say this. People need to start doing some self-reflection because, again, if you are on the system, you have an advantage than them because you've been here longer than them. So yeah, you all are getting upset because they're able to get a house before you do, which took you 5-10 years. Why did it take you 5-10 years? Then I was watching another video last night where a family of three talking about some, they don't know if they can afford a second child because they have to pay mortgage. Their sister had to move in there. And I read somewhere where they were saying maybe they should never have got that big house. And that's another thing. I understand that people want nice things, but if I'm like right now, I'm looking for buying a house cash, which would be a fixer upper. So unfortunately, it won't be no brand new house. It would be a house that was declared bankruptcy from the previous owner and where I could buy a house cash. Because what am I doing with a house with 5-6 bedrooms and overworking myself to pay off something which would take me over 30 years? Let's not talk about refinancing. No, I'm not doing that. Then you have some people that got a bachelor's degree. That wasn't enough for them. And then they had scholarships, grants, went back to school only to be in debt. Then realize that, oh, maybe learning a trade is not so bad. Duh. That's why I am not in no rush to go back to college. Go back to whose college? I spent 4 years in a 2-year college. No. Thank God for financial aid, and I had to pay out of pocket because I wasn't taking out no loans. So go to get what bachelor's degree? I'm not doing that. As of right now, I'm looking for our apprenticeship and some other alternative because, yeah, debt is not something that is suitable for me. And what people fail to realize that you all are in debt because, granted, you all listen to your all's parents, other people was like, oh, go to college, you'll be able to become rich. Rich don't make you going to college does not make you rich. I'm gonna let you know that now. It don't. Unless you plan on starting up a business, then yeah. But you going to college now, a it puts you in a higher tax bracket, yes, but no. Especially if you have debt coming out, what rich are you gonna be? What successful are you gonna be? You won't enjoy your money till at least you're in your 30s, maybe 40s, after you're done graduated in your 20s. No. So I would suggest moving forward for my fellow citizens of America and those that have children that are getting ready to graduate high school. Please put them children in, tell them children to go to trade. Don't be killing yourself to work another job. And it's not fair that I've listened to grandparents saying that they have to work because they have to pay for grandchildren's college. Huh? See, when my children go to college, if they do, the only thing I'm helping is books and food, which is the most expensive. If you decide you want to be on dorm, that's on you, because guess what? You're not taking out a loan under my name and I'm not helping you. Because I feel like if you want to go to a university, it would be in your best interest to find a good paying job or take out that loan yourself. But I will not be helping you. That's another reason why Americans are behind, because they're paying for their children's loans. I'm not doing that. No. I'll put money aside. Thank God for the Gerber life college plan, because there's a joint plan where you could get life insurance in college. But whatever don't cover the costs, I don't really know what to tell mines, because guess what? The 529 plan only goes but so far. So yeah, it's up to my children's choice. But my oldest already said that he's going to Job Corps and he's learning a trade, so I don't have to worry about him. But as for the other three, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, but you really don't have to suffer. But if I knew what I knew now, 8 years ago, I probably would have been in a tiny house with 2 or 3 bedrooms. But I don't care, because it's mine. As long as I don't have a mortgage and I'm paying property tax once a year, hey. But to be paying 12, and if you live in major cities, 3,400 a month for a mortgage, to me that's wild. I wouldn't do it, because there's a lot of abandoned houses that are, and I get it, you'd be paying more money to fix it up, but you go on YouTube, you can do a floor, redo a floor yourself. You can paint, you could put up wallpapers, depending on the condition of the house and everything else. You put a money aside for us to pay. But I just could not phantom the fact that I would be paying off something. And then, mind you, when you pay off the house within 20, 30 years, the house is still not yours, because you still have to pay property tax. I'd rather pay property tax. I'm not paying mortgage and turn around paying property tax. I'm not doing it. So yes, you all can be upset that the illegals have learned to cheat the system, but my thing is, you lived here for many years. You should have learned that too. And I'm not saying go break the laws or whatnot, but how they figure out the system and they're not bilingual yet. Like, instead of being upset, you may could learn from them, because one thing about me, I don't sit back and complain. I start reading books. I start asking questions, people that were willing to answer, and I go from there. But instead of me being upset and complaining, I don't do that. For what? Nah. You had the same opportunities as them. Here's another thing I've learned. There was a guy, it was in Ohio. He was a supervisor, and they had asked him, "Well, how are your thoughts on the migrants coming into your factory to work?" He was like, "I love it, because before our town, we didn't have that many employees, but the Haitians, they come to work on time, they're serious, they're not playing at the job, whereas the Americans, we have to redirect them on what to do." And I'm looking like, so as Americans, you all don't know how to take your job seriously? We're horse playing at the job. So I work at FedEx, and coworkers have looked at me side eye and be like, "You're Miss Goody Two Shoes, because you look like you're afraid of the manager." It's not so much fear, it's the simple fact that I know what it's like to be laid off, and I don't want to be fired for playing and breaking the rules. Because after I get done playing with you and my manager writes me up and I get accumulate enough write up, I'm getting fired. Is my coworkers helping me with my bills? No. Are they going to vouch for me that be, hey, I'm the reason why she got fired? No. So why is it that you think that you could play on the clock, stealing time, because that's a thing? Like I'm trying to understand, because I have two certificates in workforce readiness, and I made sure when I took those courses, I knew what that entailed, meaning how to be on time for work. I could do better, but I'm working on that. Communicate with effectively with my manager, and also doing what I'm supposed to do, reading the mission statement, ensuring that what I'm told to do, I execute. My manager should not be telling me the same thing more than twice. And some of you all like to complain that the jobs are this, that, and the third. Leave. Because you already know how managers are. You already know that we live in a world that is not fair. So you thinking because the manager is breaking rules and have favoritism, you could do as you please? No. If that's the only job and you don't have a backup job, you can't do what you want on these people's clock. So when he said that, I couldn't even get upset because I've seen it. There's people playing at the job. There's people being inappropriate, people doing what they want. And I'd be looking like, no, that could not be me. So I can get labeled as pretty um perfect or goody two shoes. That's fine. But let me tell you something. Best to believe, me listening to my manager and being respectful has gotten me out of a few write-ups. It goes a long way. But that's very sad when Americans are being viewed as not taking their job seriously. They don't want to work certain jobs. Like last time I checked, some of you all were in high school. Y'all first jobs were fast food, low income jobs while y'all were in college. When did we start acting like, oh, we're too good for this job? Well, you could act too good for this job all you want to, but these people that are unskilled and are immigrants are making their that money stretch for that low paying job. So my next question is, how are we spending our finances? Because my thing is, they don't know English. They're working off the books jobs, sometimes low paying jobs, and within, I want to say 5 years, maybe less, they're able to get an apartment or a house and a better job. So how are they able to do it and they just got here? Look, my advice to you all is stop complaining and get you all's act together, because let me tell you something. Like I told my son and whatnot, you're going to have to learn another language, whether you like it or not. You have to learn. You know how many times I filled out an application and it was like Creole. We're looking for people that's Creole, speak Chinese, Spanish, French. You don't like it, but that's the reality. I know how to write Spanish well, then I know how to speak it. So guess what I'll be putting on my application. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not fluent in it, but to get my foot in the door, I will learn. That's why when I hear Spanish speakers, I be all up in their mouth. I be all up in their conversation. Ask, what's that? A few months later, some of them have been shocked to find out, oh, habla español. And they be shocked because look at my skin tone. Although, yes, people in their countries look like them, but they know that I'm a citizen here. So it's shocked to know that some of them are still shocked that I speak it. Yeah. And I tell them, yeah, because I want that high paying job. So I say that to say this. Look, I know you all don't like it. You all feel that they should be learning our language, but Yeah, it's about to get very serious. I would say next year. We've already been dealing with inflation for 2 years, so next year we're in a rude awakening. So again, just take advantage of the opportunities.